All right, it's finally here. Nintendo sent this box over, and inside this box is our Nintendo Switch 2. It's our $449 Nintendo Switch 2. Actually, there's a bunch of stuff in this box. There is the Nintendo Switch 2 plus the Mario Kart World bundle. That's $499. There's also a Switch 2 camera in here, which is $55. There's also a Switch 2 Pro controller, which is $85. And there's a physical copy of Mario Kart World, which would be $80 if you got one, which we'll need to play today because the digital copy doesn't work until tomorrow. So, kind of a pricey box, but let's just jump in. With none other than our Ridge MKB HD knife, of course. Oh, and also, by the way, you've noticed I have over here a Switch 1 and a Switch 1 OLED, because I've gotten to compare like back and forth between seeing one and seeing the other, but I want to look at them next to each other. So let's jump in. Here's the Switch 2 Pro controller. Switch 2. Mario Kart World, there it is. Switch 2 camera, and of course a little bit of extra information. They always give us a little PDF so we know what's going on, but that's it. So of course first we should get into the console itself. That's all anyone's really here for anyway, so there you go. That's the box you're gonna see in stores and Best Buy and everything. There they are, right on top, the big new Joy-Cons. And then of course the console itself, right here. It looks a little bigger every time I see it. Nice big 7.9-inch screen, thin bezels, pretty sleek. There you go. USB-C port on top. Got those pins on the side. We'll talk more about those in a second. But yeah, that's the console right there. But what else comes in this box here? HDMI cable, nice. And then of course your two attachments for the Joy-Cons and the wrist straps, and that's it for here. This is a wall plug, single USB-C port on that. USB Type-C cable, so that's your charger right here. Here's your little hub to attach both Joy-Cons. Last but not least, the dock with the fans in it that does 4K out to the TV with this new shape. I think first thing I want to do is just attach the Joy-Cons. That's the thing that I miss. When I first got to see those magnetic Joy-Cons, it's just so satisfying. This little mechanism here that pops the Joy-Con off the Switch. It attaches super, super well, but if you just press it a little, it detaches just like that, and then you just pull. So that's nice. I kind of wonder how durable these pins are, if they're gonna break. I've been told they have a little bit of give on purpose so that if you do knock up against it or drop it or something, it won't instantly break. Now these here are the little bumpers because you might actually end up using these a little bit more often, at least if the games support the new feature where the Joy-Cons can be used as a mouse. These little things, they're also made of plastic, a little bit of give to them, but they're still pretty sturdy. And they attach to the Joy-Cons themselves. So, if I throw this bumper on here, just like that, hooks on the bottom, and there you go. So there's your Joy-Cons as mice, and also with the bumpers on if you wanted to hand hold your controller. Everybody's used to this experience. But I have some other unboxings to get to, so I'm gonna do these too. Let's do the camera first. So some of you may remember Nintendo's Connect event where they showed this new camera. Basically, while you're doing gameplay, you hit this new C button and it opens this share menu, and it's supposed to be this much more social console where you can share your gameplay with other people at the same time, or even share a video feed of your face which is overlaid over your gameplay to someone else who is playing at the same time. Could be cool. I don't even know if you might be able to live stream that feed. I'm not exactly sure if you want to do that, but this is that tiny little camera. And yep, it's just as tiny and cute as I remember. And then another USB Type-C cable for that. There's this little bezel around the front that lets you manually, physically open and close it. You got that? That's nice. So we got our Pro controller here, which is gonna be sick for some games. I don't know if I'm gonna use this for Mario Kart World, but here is your $85 Pro controller. USB Type-C cable to USB Type-A on the other end. Oh, it's kind of heavy. It's got some weight to it that I didn't actually expect. Everything else is obviously mostly plastic, and so is this controller, but it does have this like central weight where I'm sure battery and haptics all are. So, okay, switch 2. I'm gonna put these Joy-Cons back on and fire it up for the first time. That's so much faster than before. Also, the dock here is nice because you can just, ideally, pop it in. There's a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of give. It's not too bad. This is the Switch 1 dock, which didn't really have any give at all. So I'm a little surprised to see so much wiggle. I think it's about time to start playing some games. Power button. Oh yeah. Speakers are bigger. It's crisp. English, yes. The Americas, yes. Accept the agreement, yes. Okay, about to download update data. I heard about this day 1 update. You can continue setting it up while the update downloads, sure. What time zone am I in? Okay. New LA, York. Last thing I want to do is just get a look at this physical game because the cartridge slot is still at the top. Where's my ridge knife? So if I were to, in the future, maybe not get the bundle at launch, but get the physical Mario Kart World game, this is what one of those nice cartridges is gonna look like. All right. So much plastic. This is a massive package for this tiny little cartridge right here, but this is the game. Those are your pins. There we go. MKBHD is logged in. Very nice. More users can be added if the system will be used by other people. Good to know. To parents and guardians, set up your controls. Psych. Don't have any cards to add, but I would if I did. And then to set up the complete, hit home. Great. First look at the home screen on the Switch 2. So I could obviously jump in and download an app or game right now, but I think the move is straight to Mario Kart World. Nice. Software update's available. It'll download now, but I'd like to start the software, please. It's me. Sorry, I should say, it's a me. This new bigger screen. 7.9-inch display looks way better. 120 hertz looks so much better. Turn the speakers down. Okay, sorry, I'm getting carried away. What I should be doing is comparing it to the other Switches. So I'm gonna do that real quick, just because we actually have them all side by side. So this is the Switch 1. This is my Switch 1. It's also a colorware Switch 1, so that's why it looks a little different. It's got the paint all over the Joy-Cons and the back, and it looks super sweet. But this is the old kickstand, and this is the old Switch 1 size. This is the new Switch kickstand, and the new Switch size. The thickness is roughly the same, but obviously much bigger screen, much better looking screen, higher refresh rate, more storage, the whole deal. Obvious upgrade. But this is David's Switch OLED, which they did upgrade some other things on. Obviously it's an OLED display, but it also has this full width kickstand. See, this is the difference that we're talking about. This is the Switch OLED on the bottom, Switch 2 on the top. And this has happened so many times in like even the smartphone world and the tablet world, where we say, oh, you know, we're nerds, we're really pixel peeping, we really want to see a higher fidelity, better looking display. But at the end of the day, most people just want a bigger screen, and that's what the Switch 2 is delivering. We also fully expect, if we're being reasonable, there's probably going to be a Switch 2 OLED at some point in the next like 2 years or something. So I wouldn't be shocked when that shows up, and that's even more expensive, but that's a bigger OLED display that's also 120 hertz and looks amazing. And they might even do some other things that upgrade the console. Like, they weren't afraid of a new kickstand design and some other things for Switch OLED, but yeah. Oh God, I didn't actually think this through. That is fun. Yeah, these Joy-Cons are so much better than the old ones. Here, I'll just show you. Since we have them, we can actually do the direct comparison. You have to pull the little pin in, slot it up like that. And first of all, it's larger, which does make a difference. It's a little more ergonomic, but then also every single button is bigger, the joystick is bigger. I saw that there was a pre-installed screen protector on the Switch, and it's true. I can see it. I'm gonna get a macro shot of it so you can see what I'm seeing. But they say don't remove it. And now that I've seen the instructions, okay, I won't. But if you want to install one on top of it, that's cool too. Like Dbrand has a Prism screen protector you can install on top of this one, and that will hold it and protect whatever's underneath. Now, one of the big Switch 2 talking points, which I mentioned in that last video, was that game that essentially acts as a tutorial to learn about your Switch doesn't come with it. It's not free, and it's not here. But there are some built-in tutorial things, like how to use mouse controls. If I pop one of these off, select next and follow the on-screen guides, put the bumper on. Oh, there it is. Shows up immediately. So I don't know if you can see that, but I am using this as a controller, and then I'm also able to scroll inside windows, which is kind of nice. And then of course I can select using that top button. So it works pretty well. I think there's gonna be a couple of games that do immediately support this out the box, but it's probably not something a lot of them are expecting to use. Like I did that wheelchair soccer game when I was doing the demo when I first tried the Switch 2, and it worked pretty well, but yeah, we'll see what other games end up using that. So for those wondering what the rest of the home screen stuff looks like, because this is also something we haven't seen yet, looks pretty familiar. You've got your picture up at the top, because that's your account, and I'm sure I'll blur my friend code so nobody spams me. But then of course your games, and then underneath, game chat's in there, settings are in here. I can go to, let's see, can I change my display refresh rate? TV resolution is automatic, but up to 4K, which is great. So it doesn't look like I can decide to go down to 60 hertz. This is for just TV. Yeah, I feel like these new Joy-Cons are almost as much of an upgrade as the new screen. Just having these huge new buttons, the whole Joy-Con being bigger, ergonomically it's better, the haptics are better. I should probably drop the sound a little bit, but yeah, it is much better to game on an individual Joy-Con with the new ones. So if you're thinking about Switch 2, oh, is that really that much of an upgrade? Is it that different to game on it? It's gonna feel different because of the Joy-Cons just as much as the screen. So here's all three Switches all lined up next to each other. Switch 1, OG, Switch OLED, new kickstand, OLED screen, Switch 2. Obviously the biggest difference is just that it's bigger. I mean, this is my first impression. The bigger Joy-Cons make such a big difference, so most people are gonna enjoy bigger Joy-Cons and bigger screen. We also are expecting an OLED version later. I'm gonna get to much more detail in the full review, but also if you're considering getting a Switch 2, you're probably also thinking about getting a case, in which case you should consider the Kill Switch by channel sponsor Dbrand. Okay, so this is the Kill Switch case. Also, it looks like Dbrand left a note which says, we know there's a lot of features, but they're all pretty important. Think you can try to fit them in the end roll? I'll try. So this is the case. It's got this super rigid travel cover, crush proof. You can just toss this thing around, which is great. But then with this little bungee, which is kind of sick, you take the cover off, and inside you'll notice there are 10 slots, magnetic holders for your games. So take the games with you. But then even once you got the cover off, it's still protected and you have full access to the kickstand, which is sick. You can still fully remove the Joy-Cons, unlike a lot of other cases. And the Joy-Cons have this ergonomic back on them as well, which is kind of killer. So now the Joy-Con's bigger and more comfortable to hold, kind of like a real mouse in the hand. You can still put the bumpers on and use it as a mouse. That's nice. So then for docking, Dbrand includes a dock adapter with every kill switch. Pops in like that. So all you gotta do is place your kill switch on the front tray and they're connected and now they're docked, full 4K 60 pass-through, and the dock fan still cools the dock normally. And I haven't even touched on the durability, the build quality, the materials. This thing is a tank, so yeah, if you're gonna travel with your Switch, highly recommended. And if you wanna grab one for $35 off, I'll have a link down below in the description. That's it. Thanks for watching this first impressions. Let me know what you want to see in the full review, what games I should play first of all, which experiences I should use game share with, using the camera with, using the Pro controller with, because I want to be pretty thorough, but this is a first look at the newest console from Nintendo. Thanks for watching. Get subscribed to see that stuff. Catch you in the next one. Peace.